talking about a new study that links excessive social media use with depression in teens. Casey Bree Jensen is a teen social media expert and is here today with some tips on keeping your teens safe and healthy online. Casey, good morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You know, this is really interesting to talk a little bit about this connection between teens and depression. It's pretty alarming, actually.
It's very alarming. I mean, a lot of times parents are seeing activity, emotional activity in their teens and thinking it's just adolescence or it's just that, and it may be. But sometimes we have to go a little deeper and see if there's something going on maybe on their Twitter, on their Instagram. Maybe people are being negative or they're feeling left out.
Yeah, what do we need to watch for when it comes to some of those red flags, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it's just going beneath the layers. It's not just the posting, it's the hashtags, which every time you put a little hashtag or number symbol in front, for all the parents out there that aren't on these
that little
things,
pound sign.
The little pound sign, when you click on it, it's a link. And so things like hashtag teen can also lead to porn, actually.
Oh.
So knowing what your child is being exposed to, there could be down mood swings because they've seen graphic material just because they've had an innocent hashtag. So I don't want to freak everybody out.
Right.
It's just basically understanding these things so you can navigate through what they're on their social media.
I guess that leads to my next questions. If you're a parent out there and you're going, I'm not very tech savvy,
right.
How do you navigate this stuff? What do you need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that old, but I have a 14-year-old, and 10 years ago it was completely different, so I'm constantly learning, even though this is my job. Basically, take the tools that are out there. There's teensafe.com that I personally use, and I'm able to get a feed to my computer of all of the texts and all the social media activity that my son's on.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And parents are always like, oh, what about their privacy? My son knows that I monitor, and it's facilitated some great conversations about, hey, I saw that girl texted you this. Like, let's talk about that. And what was that, you know, why was she saying that? And you know, it's called social media. It's like media, like we're on right now. They're putting stuff out there, so we as parents need to know what's out there and what people are saying to them, because sometimes it's not what they're saying. You could have a kid that is awesome, posting great things, but then there's these comments that are coming in that are making them feel down.
As an expert and also as a mom of a teenager, do you ever find, I know you mentioned the privacy part of being a teenager. Is there a part of you that thinks, you know, teens really want to realize from their parents that people care about them, people are paying attention to them?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's part of it too, being able to sit down and say, let's talk about this?
That's a great point, because, you know, people are like, oh, you're in their business. Kids want boundaries. They may act up like, why are you
We
in
all
their
acted like
business?
we didn't.
I mean, we get in a little bit of an attitude like, oh, my mom. But there's safety in that, and they feel loved, and they feel cared about, and knowing that their parent is in their business because they love them.
I want to talk a little bit about our Facebook viewers. You guys are chiming in, and we really appreciate that, just talking about this subject on social media as well. Some people are saying to let your kids on social media is quote-unquote lazy parenting. But do you think that, you know, a teen is going to get into this stuff either way? What's your opinion on this? Should they be on this or not?
Yeah, it's kind of that gap between maybe like the baby boomers and this generation that's on media. You just think, oh, just don't let them on. And if that's your choice, that's your choice. You know what your child can handle. And I think it's slowly introducing different social media and educating and having real conversations. If this happens on social media, what are you going to do? Because that is the day we live in. And if they're not on it at home, they're probably checking on their friend's Twitter at school or whatnot. So just be aware. I just say don't be naive, be aware, educate, and walk through it with your teen.
I like that website you mentioned as well, that you monitor all the texts and stuff. What is that one again?
So it's teensafe.com. There's also different links on my website. You can go and find resources because there's different links for different tools. So how to keep your kids safe on their iPhone, how to keep them safe on their internet, how to keep
so many
gaming
different
communities.
Things now.
That's a whole nother subject. Gaming communities, we're really discovering that this is becoming a problem because our students, again, we as parents aren't gaming, you know, necessarily. Some are, but I'm not. And so it's a completely different world, and they're live chatting with strangers all over the world. And because I work with teens all the time, I was on a teen's phone, and I realized that there was Killer 222 texting this teenager,
wow.
and Spy Game 55.
And you don't even know who
like,
these people are.
Where's Sarah? And where's Tina? Where's these normal names? And it turned out that they were giving their phone number out on gaming communities because they wanted to know when their gaming friends were online. Well, we don't know who these gamers are.
Right.
We don't know if it's someone down the street. We don't know if it's someone across the world. We don't know if they're a 30-year-old predator. We don't know these things. So you can put up parent safeties, child safeties on their gaming devices. You can put them on their phones and all those different areas.
Casey, this is great information. You think you know, you have no idea.
Yeah, we just need to educate ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah. And information, as always, is power. Casey, thank you. This is great info.
Thank you.
We'll have these tips and more parenting resources. You can find them on Q13FOX.com. Meanwhile, this